All right, guys. Hello. Welcome back to Chapters and Check-ins. Of course, I'm your host, Ronnie Rawls.
And I'm your co host, Tina Turner. We're so glad to have you back today.
I know this is our fourth episode. Tina, we should have nicknames by now.
I know.
What would your
I
nickname
know.
be?
We're going to be counting on two hands before you know it,
I
Ronnie.
know. I want my nickname to be R&R. Yours can be TT. Wait, no, that doesn't sound right. TNT. There,
I
that's
like
better.
that better.
I like that.
TNT.
I like
Yeah.
that.
All right, all right. Today we're diving into a powerful leadership book, guys. It's The Five Levels of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. And we've got our book leader here with us, guys. No stranger to the game, Philip Carter from the Hampton Inn in Madisonville. He's going to be here to walk us through this book.
I'm so excited, Philip, that you are leading today's podcast and so excited about the book that you have chosen. I'm just excited to have you on the show because you are such a I feel like so above Ronnie and Mai's level of podcast, even though you don't have a podcast, you just know TikTok, all the social media channels, and you're just a natural. So I'm just a little intimidated to have you on the show
Really?
today. Yeah.
Oh
So
goodness.
Fresh.
The pressure. The
yeah, no
pressure.
pressure. The pressure is on. But hey, I was so excited you took the challenge, and kind of I always love to ask this question: what made you choose the book?
Yeah. So, first and foremost, thank you, Tina, for inviting me, and Ronnie as well. It was very, my eyes lit up when Tina was in my office, sitting on the other side of the desk, and just asked me if I wanted to be a part of something that I knew was uh, a good thing, a great thing, and that's something that we are bringing leaders together and engagement. I'm all about that, and I think this company specifically has a lot of good things, and I'm happy to be a part of this. And I honestly, at first when you asked me, I did not know what book I was going to be leading. So it took me a couple of days and a couple of weeks to figure out what I could draw from my experiences, but then also good principles that can be applied in something like this. So I chose the five levels of leadership, and I think people assume that leadership comes with a title, but in reality, it's something that you build over time. And this book really breaks that down in a way that's easy to understand and apply to a fast-paced environment that we are afforded to oversee.
Yeah, man, that's powerful, especially in hospitality where titles don't always equal, influence. So,
No, they don't, Ronnie. And with the five levels, it starts with the first level, which is just the position. Philip, let's talk about level one and what stood out to you in this section of the book.
Yeah, level one is like you were saying, is position level, and that's the level. Ironically, is the level that most people just get stuck at, become stagnant. It's leadership based on a title, so it's not necessarily influence, and people ultimately follow you because they have to, because you're their boss, and not because they want to. And I think we've all experienced that type of leadership, uh, and it truly feels transactional.
yeah, and in a hotel setting, you see this a lot, especially with new supervisors. What I've noticed a trend, recently in the industry is used to take years to move up, to a
Hmm.
to a GM position. Now, I mean, it can happen in a month. It can happen in less than a year because there's such high demand for good GMs, and so, you know, you also see it with like front desk managers. Sometimes they might say, do this because I'm your manager. But that only gets compliance, not engagement, which is what we want.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when you see employees doing the bare minimum.
Yeah.
They just want to get in and out of the rooms, and there's no attention to detail. Guests get checked in, and there's no real hospitality. You never see, your breakfast host, greeting, wiping tables, anything like that. So, definitely you can see it if they are, not engaged. So,
Yeah, that do it because I said so leadership. It rarely inspires anyone to do much more than just their job. So,
right, right.
all right, well, cool. Level one. What about level two, permission? What changes, Philip, when you move into level two?
Yeah,
The
so
permission stage.
level two is that's the level where it becomes more personal.
Mm,
It's truly about building trust, building relationships, getting to know your team, and ultimately, when you do that, people start following you because they want to. Like you said, they're inspired. It's not required, and I think this is where leaders truly make the greatest impact because connection, it truly moves the needle.
Yeah, I feel like it's really huge in hotels. I think that's when those housekeepers, when you move to level two, they will take their time and go that extra mile in that room or the front desk. It could be something that they notice on an upcoming reservation, and they're proactive. They want to take care of the guest, and they want
absolutely.
to have that care for the room that they're cleaning, or breakfast, or
Yeah.
whatever position that they're in.
Yeah, creating those experiences. We talk about that. And we use that phrase a lot. It's
Mhm.
when a team feels connected to you, they're not just checking that guest in. I mean, they're creating that experience that we
Right.
that we strive for. That's kind of the difference between a regular stay and a memorable stay, and we all know that's the difference between service scores too being high.
Hmm.
Well,
Right.
which is one of our ultimate goals there.
Yeah. Well, and that's where culture starts, when people want to show up and perform. And, I can always tell in any type of business that I walk into, just by looking around, listening, does this hotel have a culture? You can tell right off the bat. I mean,
Yeah,
within 15 seconds of walking in the door,
yeah,
you can tell if that leader has made it to level two.
yeah. That and elevator tracks.
Yeah.
Always check the elevator tracks, man. A
Oh,
good GM has clean elevator tracks, just so you know.
that's right.
Just saying.
I love it, Ronnie.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, well, that kind of goes into, our next level, level three, which is production,
Mhm.
which, I think is a next big step. Philip, you want to talk about this one and why it's important?
Yeah, we are in a results driven just world,
mm,
society. I mean, you look at
Mhm.
from sports to business, like everyone wants to see people win. They want, they're not getting in business to lose money, they're getting in business to make money. They're not
Right,
playing to lose, or playing to win. And this level specifically is all about results. And this is when your team buys in. It's where they start to believe that they can do the unthinkable. They can accomplish the unthinkable, and it truly builds credibility. And people respect leaders who can produce results
mm.
and move things
Mhm.
forward.
Yeah. And for yeah, I'm sorry, Tina. I thought you were going to say something.
No, you're fine.
For us, it's measurable things that we can look at. I mean, we can look at those in our world. It's the service scores. Where are we at with that? It's the cleanliness, guest satisfaction, revenue. When the team
Mhm.
sees a strong GNS score or a great view, they start to really believe in that leader. When they can
Right,
see those tangible things move, a lot of times when we walk into hotels, we see those service scores posted on the wall, and they're usually just a little sheet. If you do that, I'm not knocking it. At least you're
Mhm.
putting those service scores out there. But it's the general managers that really go over those service scores and make sure that their guests know what's going on, and that measurable movement of moving forward that
Mhm.
that builds that level three production there for the general manager.
Well, and I think it goes back to consistency, y'all. I mean,
Absolutely.
at our interval conference, everyone had a word of the year. And I
Hmm.
know we had someone that had consistency as
Hmm.
their word of the year. And I think that is so crucial because to get to this level 3, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen, in a week. It's going to be consistent. And I think that's what delivers great service to every guest, every room, to your P&L statements, is that consistency. And if you don't have a checklist, whether it be internal, paper,
Hmm.
whatever you use,
Hmm.
you need to be consistent in
Hmm.
certain things as a leader. And, those service scores are critical to pull up every single morning. You're able to, print them, go over them in morning huddles, and, slice and dice that. And if you're, not being consistent, I would urge you to, be consistent in those things to really drive service scores. And on the flip side, revenue, looking at your rates 2 or 3 times a day, making
Hmm.
adjustments. I think that will really help you improve in this level. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I could talk
I
about this
agree.
level for a long time.
Oh,
Oh
I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've got a really good checklist for Hampton. If anybody
Yeah.
wants it, just hit me up and I'll send it
Yeah.
over to you. Just
Yeah.
say
All
for the
right.
GM checklist.
No, most definitely.
Yeah.
And Tina, I do believe results, results matter. And, we have our numbers posted every day, and we've color coordinated them. So if you see green, that's good. If you see blue, that's great. So the team walks
Yeah.
in and you can see their faces light up. They already know that we're killing it. We see that blue
Blue
and green.
bleeders, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's important. That's important to them to know where we are, to be aware. And we know it's we go up and down. Numbers go up and down, and numbers fluctuate. But again, it's something that we strive for to keep them up. And then obviously, if we need to course correct, we do that too, because no one's perfect. But you can build relationships all day, but if nothing's getting done, then people are going to notice that.
Yeah.
And when you have results in a hotel, yeah, yeah, that's the secret sauce for
It is.
people staying on board with you in low turnover.
Hmm.
And low turnover, all as we all know, equals success and results, man. So what's next? Number 4. What is number? Oh, people development, right? Number 4 is
Yeah.
people development. That's where we're at. All right.
Yeah, that's right.
Now this is where things start to shift for a
Hmm.
manager.
Hmm.
Me, man, I level 3. I would think that I made it if I hit level 3. But Philip, tell us why we want to keep climbing that ladder to level 4, man.
Yeah, no, it's definitely easy to kick your feet up at level 3 and just be like, we're just gonna hang out here, like what I mean,
Yeah.
it's nice weather, it's great. But level
Yeah,
4
they
is
love.
it's level 4 is it's a level where you, and then this is PCology, Philip Carology, where you
Yeah.
create disciples, right? This is where your leadership shifts, like you said, and you focus on investing into others. And
Hmm.
the people development, mentoring, is where you grow leaders into bigger leaders. And when you multiply your team like that, it's no longer about what you can do; it's about what they can do.
Hey, and I love that. I love to be able to see people grow and move up. And I urge everyone that is listening or watching is to think about, someone that you have seen that started, as a line level and they've worked their way up. And you may be one of those individuals.
Hmm.
We've all started somewhere. And so, I think it's awesome to be able to invest in the leaders, and grow. And I always say, hey, train for your replacement one day. You need to have somebody that can step in, and don't be intimidated by that. Don't, be scared of that. You're only as good as your people. And I live by that. And so I want great people around me.
Mhm.
Yeah, me too. Well, and that's one of the things that I love about Integral and why I wanted to be a part of that is every single director, vice president, president started at the bottom and worked their way up. Nobody came in and got anything handed to them. So that means a lot to me to work for a company that's built on that sort of experience. But
Hmm.
a lot of times we have people that don't want a GM position.
Mhm.
Right, right.
But a lot of times, if we want to give them more and make them satisfied with their job more, you can always cross train, members. Housekeepers learn from front desk basics. Maintenance could better understand service scores. You're when you do that, you're building a stronger team. What they found out in factory workers on assembly lines that if someone did the same job over and over and over, their productivity went down. But when they trained them on a different section of the assembly line and moved them from that section to another section just to give them some diversity, their productivity went up. No one likes to do the same thing over and over again
Mhm.
forever. So cross train your people, man. Build morale, and it builds a stronger team too.
It,
Absolutely.
hey, I totally believe that. Actually, I was at a property this week, and the breakfast host came up and said, "Hey, I sure would love to start learning front desk,
Yeah.
and I love breakfast, but I want to grow, and
Mhm.
what's the possibility of me doing that?" And so, hey, she stepped forward, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, and you
Hmm.
never
Yeah.
know. Some people are just afraid to ask.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I agree. I always
And
say
then
that.
they possibly could leave because they are not growing
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
and that's
and
one of
they're
those
getting
ones where
overlooked.
they just walk out the door and you're like, why
Yeah,
did they leave?
yeah,
You
they were
know?
such
Mhm.
a great employee. Well,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly always say, and I say this to my team, and just the more you know, the more you grow. And I
Yeah,
know
for
a
sure.
lot of
mhm,
people they want to be challenged, and when a person feels like they've reached a certain level, they're wanting to the next challenge, or they want to take on more, and then the ones that are willing to do that, I can't, I would never want to hinder that. So,
Yeah,
um,
sure.
the ultimately you want going back to people development, the more you do that and cross train and educate them and show your team members more things, that your hotel will run even smoother when you're not around, when leadership is
Yeah,
not
that's
in the
true.
building.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good point. Oh, that's a really good point.
that's awesome. Well,
Mhm.
the fifth level is the pinnacle level in the book. And I think it's all about legacy. Philip, do you
Hmm.
want to kind of talk about this level and what stood out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Level 5 is it's one of those. It's the level that people aspire for, but not everyone reaches. And going back to what you said, it is about legacy. It's people wanting to follow you because of who you are and what you represent. And it's built over time. It's consistency, it's integrity, it's trust, it's how you've impacted others. And very few, like I said, people reach this level. But if you place your goal at level 5, I guarantee you you're gonna probably get the first your 1 through 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I always think of it as that gym that everybody wants to work for.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
the one who builds a culture where people
Hmm.
stay, like we had mentioned earlier, and grow, like we mentioned earlier.
Hmm.
But they bring it all together into one. And so I think that's to me it's that even in the market that you're in, other hotels talk about you. God, man, I wish I worked over at the Hampton Inn,
Hmm.
with
Hmm.
Philip. He's amazing, man.
Yep.
And they're calling their friends that work there. Hey, man, how can you get me on over there? I want to be a part of that.
Absolutely.
And hey, I think you also, with this level, you hear things like, I've learned everything, from them, or that leader changed my career or my path.
Hmm.
And if your name falls into that, I think you've made it to that, level. And that's the kind of, leader that people don't forget.
No,
I
never.
think we all have someone, or maybe more than one person, that we
Absolutely.
can think of that, you've learned from, or put you in, the career that you're in, and, made that change for you. I think that's such a pivotal moment. And so I've got a couple of them. I don't have many, just a couple. So
Me too. Even teachers, I can remember teachers from high school and college that
yeah,
really like stood out with me and just stuck with me forever.
yeah,
Still think about them. Today they just totally impacted my life. So those are the kind of that's what I think of when I think of pinnacle.
right, right.
Lifelong connection.
Yeah.
So Philip, what really stood out with you? We discussed all five of
Yeah.
the leadership. So what really stood out with you in this book overall?
So just leadership as the process that it is. I think the biggest shift is moving from focusing on your position to focusing on the people. Hospitality in itself and having the heart of hospitality, it's we know that it's a business, but if we don't take care of our people, you're not going to get much business. So
Yeah.
it's truly it drives everything and it keeps everything moving forward.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. So it's time to give up. Hopefully, I say this right. My kids are going to cringe. It's time to give up the tea. Is that right? Did I say that right? Let's talk about
Yeah,
real
let's
world
spill
experiences
the
here.
tea. Spill the
Is that
tea.
right? Did I use it right? I don't know, man.
Spill the tea.
Uh,
Let's spill the tea.
okay, okay, all right, maybe not. So scratch that. We'll take that out in editing. Oh, wait a minute, it's live. I can't. Have you ever have you ever worked for someone who was stuck at a level one, man? Give us the deets.
Yeah,
Give us the.
yeah. I had my first opportunity a couple of years ago, about 5 years ago, was an assistant manager position at a Fairfield in the Suites, and I can't I wouldn't be where I am today without this individual that gave me an opportunity. So I will always appreciate them for that. But they were a level one. I'm gonna stay in my office. I'm a crab. Only call me when it's absolutely necessary, and I'm hitting the door at 5 o'clock, whether we got it or not. So, but that helped me to see what I needed to not be like, and that it was I was in a position where I could have easily draw a wedge between the GM and the team, and had the whole team pretty much not liking the GM, but I chose to choose positivity and chose to get
Yeah,
closer to my team
Yeah. That's
and
awesome.
use as an opportunity
yeah,
to build that relationship with them,
yeah,
and ultimately I ended up um, being promoted from just
yeah.
doing what I needed to do, and
So
but
you're
yeah,
the
it's
golden
it's
boy. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. I ended up being
yeah,
the golden boy, being the chosen one, and everyone, backed me because I
so,
was the guy that was out there
yeah.
with them, with the boots on the ground, and
Hmm.
working
You
side
go.
by side, and not just disappearing in the shadows, and
Yeah,
not really.
the leader's not always the leader. Yeah,
That's right.
that's
That's
I've
right.
learned that.
That's right.
Uh,
Yep. And you can feel it instantly in the hotel.
Hmm.
You can, it shows up, I think, in guest service scores, your team morale, turnover. I mean, it's just lots of red flags
Hmm.
for sure.
Absolutely.
So what makes someone want to follow a leader, Philip? What do you think?
Yeah, I think ultimately it comes down to trust, someone that that's got your back, and that's one thing I say a lot, and being consistent with what you say and delivering. So don't just say it, do it, and make people feel apart, make people feel valued, make people feel
Hmm.
supported. Um, that's one thing. You might not remember what a person did to you, but you'll always remember how it made you feel.
yeah,
Oh
So,
yeah.
and I think you know that is all about authority and influence in that regard.
yeah, yeah. That's true. And like you said earlier, taking cue from never leaving your office. It shows up in simple ways too. Like do you support your team during
Right.
busy
That's right.
times? Like a busy check-in at the front desk.
Right.
Breakfast, man, that's a place you can always fill in breakfast, man. Even
No,
if you're
yeah.
out there pouring coffee or
Hmm.
clearing plates or just talking to the guests. But you know, do you jump in when housekeeping is shorthanded? or do you sit in your office and act like it's not going on? You know, if you want to be the kind of manager that you need to be, then you need to be out there supporting your staff. You know, clearing tables, pouring coffee, pull linen, just pull linen, man. You know, if
Make
you
a
may not
bed.
be a bed maker, I'm not. You know, but I can unmake a bed. I'm really good at that. All day long.
Right.
You know, but that's what builds trust with your team when they know that you'll get up and go help. So
Right.
yeah. Um. So you know, Philip, I'm gonna put you on the spot, man.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it. Let's do it. Let's do
Um.
it. We're live.
Where do you feel like, yeah, where do you feel like you are
Yeah,
as a leader right now?
I would say I'm on different levels with all of my associates. But I would say I fall between that two and that three. Um,
Hmm.
which again, like we said, three is that comfortable stage. You can get to three and just hang out with certain individuals. But I love and I focus on the relationships and working on driving results. So it's I really challenge my team, and I'm trying to get to the point where we can create the disciples and get to level 4. But this book really made me more aware of where I was at, and also how my development is, and how I can be better.
Yeah, yeah,
And one thing I want to throw out there is what I learned from the book is you don't make it to that level and you stay there.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Yeah.
fall back down. You
Oh yeah.
know,
yeah. That's not
you
fair.
you can move levels.
Yeah.
So I thought,
Hey,
hey,
you know,
that's kind of
like our buddy Kevin. You know, you move to a new hotel, man. You start all back over. So, but I'm sure as good as he is, he'll have no problem in his new hotel.
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
already making
Oh, I know. I'm sure.
great moves.
That's right.
Yeah,
Shout out to
that's
Kevin.
amazing. Um, so speaking of that, let's talk practical. What's one thing listeners can apply right now that you learned from the book? What's one thing they can start doing
Yeah.
immediately?
Be intentional with
Yeah,
developing people. Like that should be, priority number one.
yeah,
And and I think if you just go back to adding the principles, that's saying, and start, like I said, start at level 1 and inspire at level 2, inspire at level 3,
yeah,
and just
yeah,
keep going.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think, you've got to, as a leader, engage and to identify those individuals that are just not a good employee, but would make a good leader. Because so
Hmm.
many times I see where we may promote someone that is a great employee, but they're never going to move out of level 1,
yeah,
unfortunately. And so they've got to have some type of showmanship of um, leading people. And I think, when you see that, take advantage of that
yeah,
and, pull them to the side and say, hey, what are your goals? This is what I'm seeing from you. And, have that conversation with them.
yeah.
Hmm.
You know, and the team of the book said that. The book said there's some people that are natural leaders that just
Hmm.
fall into the categories. There are some people that are not. But even if
Hmm.
you're not a natural leader, you know, if you read the book and you move up the stages, yeah, you can progress and become
Absolutely.
a pinnacle.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it's obtainable for everyone,
That's
which
right.
is which is great.
Yep.
Absolutely great.
So
Um,
go
go
ahead,
ahead. I'm
Ronnie.
sorry, I didn't interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Um, so, giving someone, sometimes a small leadership opportunity, I think, like just running a shift or something like that's important. Like you talked about, they may not be quite ready to move up the ladder, but you can just test them, like the book says,
Right.
give them opportunities, and see what comes of it. So,
Right. So, Phil, what do you think the biggest takeaway um, is or are from the book? What do you think?
Yeah, for me, the biggest takeaway is leadership isn't about being in charge. It's about how you impact people.
Hmm.
mm,
And,
really
ultimately, the
well said.
higher you go, um, the less it's about you and more about others, praising your team and
Yeah.
uplifting them.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. And I think that kind of leads us up to, one of my favorite things is, a takeaway is, what do we want to leave our listeners with? Something that is actionable. What do you think the challenge would be this month, Philip?
So identify one person on your team and intentionally just continue to make deposits in them and invest in them, whether it be coaching, complimenting them, encouraging them, or just simply just giving them an opportunity to show improve.
That's awesome. I think that's a great action item for everyone this week.
I mean, that's what leadership's all about.
Yep.
Yeah,
For sure.
agreed. Yeah, if I had to sum it up, leadership starts with position, obviously, but it grows through relationships, results, developing others, and that's what creates real impact.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
Like it, I love it.
That's right.
Good or work. Good or bad.
That is it. Well, hey, if you got any value of today's episodes, make sure to like and subscribe and share it with, someone that you may know, your team members, family, friends, etc. So.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well, Philip, thank you so much for your insight in bringing this book to our attention. I really enjoyed it. It kind of started slow, but then it ramped up really quickly, and there was a lot of value in it. So I really enjoyed the read. It was awesome.
Same. I actually have a.
Thank you for attending our podcast with your professionalism there, sir. Oh, and I got to go back. You said Philipisms. What'd you call it? Philip identity.
PCology.
PCology.
The mind of
I
Philip
want to
Carter.
make sure I heard that. I made a middle note. I'm gonna start saying that. You can't say R and R-ology. That just.
Yes. Well, hey, I've got a great announcement about our next book. Are y'all ready?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So our leader next month is the one and only Nancy Galloway from Integral Hospitality. That's the glue. And so we're so excited to have Nancy. And I've ordered my book. It is here. But I have not started reading it, and I have no idea really what it's about. So I'm super excited. But it's Beyond the Hammer, and I'm going to try to hold it up here so you can kind of see what it looks like. Yep, do y'all see it?
Yeah.
And so that is it. So order your book today, or
What was the author's name?
Well, his first name's Brian. And I'm going to spell his last name. And I'm going to
make fun of the last name, man. It's a tradition.
Gottleb. I'll spell it one more time. Gottlib. So,
my dyslexic self wants to call him goated.
There he is.
That's not it, Ronnie.
That's Brian goated.
Yeah.
Brian goated.
Yeah.
I think he would like it.
Oh, yeah. I wish my last name was goated.
Yeah. Well, I do know why Nancy picked this book.
Yeah.
So, for the ones that don't know, Nancy is a huge foodie. And on the cover, it says Wolfgang Puck. So now I know, Nancy, why you picked this book. I'm so now I'm even more excited to be able to read that. So anyway, well, so remember, guys, keep turning the pages
and checking in with yourself.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you, Philip.
Thank you, Philip. Appreciate you.
The goat right there. All right. Thanks, y'all.
All right. Bye.
Bye.